25%, that's right. I don't care if it's only 1 day goes by after you purchase that certificate. You're going to earn 25%. But now we know that guy didn't pay. He took 6 whole months and he didn't pay. Now, guess what? Your interest rate just doubled from 25% to 50%. So he pays you off 6 months in 1 day. Do you still get that 50%? Yep. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You get the whole 50% whether he pays you off in 1 day after that, after you bought the certificate or not. So here's a little recap. In Texas, the first 6 months, we're going to earn 25% on our money. The second 6 months, we're going to earn another 25%, 50% on our money. The guy doesn't pay. We already know what happens. We're going to foreclose. We're going to foreclose. Here's foreclosure. In foreclosing on that tax deed, here's what happens. Let's say there's a first mortgage on this property, first mortgage of $100,000. Let's say there's a second mortgage, and that second mortgage is $30,000. And then the taxes, of course, taxes are $10,000. We foreclose on the property, on that instrument, that tax instrument, because the guy didn't pay. Guess what? There is a total owed is $140,000. That's a total owed. Have you guys ever heard of a property that was upside down? Meaning that the value of the property is less than what's owed against the property. Do you know how many people run away from that kind of a situation? Do you know? Most people who see that run away. You see a cloud of smoke behind them. But no, we won't do that. Why? Because we're going to make a ton of money by foreclosing. Because when we foreclose, guess what? The value of this thing is only $100,000. It's upside down by $40,000. That's why a person runs away. We run to this. We're like firemen. We run to the fire. Because now we know that when we foreclose, that first gets wiped out. The second $30,000 gets wiped out. The taxes don't get wiped out. But look at what happened. The value from $100,000, we just created an equity position of $90,000. Because the only thing owed on this property are the taxes. The first and the second got wiped out. Did anybody see that? That, ladies and gentlemen, will be one of the most joyous times that you will ever remember in the rest of your life. And then as you do more and more and more, you'll always remember that first time when you got that property free and clear of all mortgages. And you just made yourself $90,000 or $100,000 when you used to work for 3, 4, 5 months and make $20,000. This is the very best kept secret in America. Because you get all of your money back, and then you get a high rate of interest. And if the person doesn't pay, you get to foreclose, you take the property, and you own that property free and clear. So there's such a wonderful opportunity in front of you. And if you're afraid that you're going to lose your money, let me tell you something. This has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. People do not lose their money. Well, maybe if you buy something, a piece of land, raw land in the middle of the ocean or something, it's kind of down there underwater. But now, can't you just go on your computer, put the address in, and look at it through Google? Well, couldn't you know that this property is out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean? I don't want it. Nowadays, you have the tools at your fingertips now. You have the process here. You've got the program. It's a government program that's been around for hundreds of years. Now you know what it needs? It needs your education, and it needs you plugging into it. I'm sharing that with you for a reason. You see, nobody else is going to tell you about this. I'll tell you about it because I'm always looking for partners. And so therefore, I want you equipped with the best tools, with the best education, because if we're going to be partners, your education, your ability to do these is going to be very significant because we'll both make money if you don't spin your wheels. So it's incumbent upon me to make sure that you are armed with the right tools, the right knowledge, and also you're going to use my money if you don't have any of your own. Okay, that's why I'm here. I'm cultivating partners. You will get a high return on your investment after getting all of your money back. And in this case, if we're partners, I get all my money back, and we will get a high return on investment. Raise your hands if that sounds interesting to you. Great. I'm in the right place. All right, so you know, when you think about it, what if you'd known about this 5 years ago? What if you had known that you could take a little bit of money and make it grow super, super high with huge interest, and if the person doesn't pay, you could end up owning that property? What if you'd known about that 5 years ago? Where would you be right now is the question.
Might be right here.
Maybe be up here.
Or maybe up there.
Well, let me tell you, I know what you're thinking, doggone, I wish I'd known about it 5 years ago, but don't worry about that. That's what we call water under the bridge, spilled milk, that kind of thing. What I want you to do is to focus on what you're learning about right now, because now it starts. You're being exposed to it now. Don't worry about 5 years ago. Worry about it now. What are we going to do about it now? And I'll share with you what some of my students have done, like John, for instance. John Cunningham. He did a great job. This was his very first tax sale. And you see that smile on his face? There's a reason for that smile on his face. John, when he studied the material, it didn't take him long at all. And he started, he just jumped in like gangbusters. He bought a little certificate in Illinois, and he paid $2,300 for this certificate in Illinois. So he chose Illinois because it's kind of unique. He wanted extra money, more money than the others would pay, the other counties would pay. So Illinois pays 18% every 6 months. Every 6 months. So that's 36% in a year. That's pretty good, don't you agree? Uh-huh. So that's what he did. Paid $2,300, it pays 18% every 6 months. The owner had 2.5 years to cure that default, to pay John his interest, or his principal, and also, I'll get out of your way, his principal and also that heavy, heavy penalty interest. See that 18% every 6 months? That's what we call a penalty interest. And so the guy had 2.5 years to do that, and he didn't. So John foreclosed. Foreclosed on the property. All the junior liens got wiped out. Everything got wiped out, except the taxes, of course. So let's take a little closer look at this deal. John put out $2,300 for that tax certificate. The owner had 2.5 years to redeem it. He did not. So John made himself a little over $2,000 just in the interest over that 2.5-year period. Did pretty well. Property value was $237,000. That's what the value was. The owner did not pay. So therefore John foreclosed. We know that all the junior liens get wiped out, and that's exactly what happened. All the junior liens got wiped out. John made over $235,000 in 2.5 years. Was that pretty good? While he was a passive investor. He did not go out there and build a new house. He didn't even remodel a house. He didn't even clean up a yard. He didn't do anything. He simply used his brains. He simply used his brains, and he made over $235,000. What if that were you? How would that change your life? Would you find yourself maybe living in that better neighborhood? Maybe driving that Tesla? Maybe you'd be able to help a family member a little bit better than you can help now, because some of our family members really need our help. Maybe you'd have your kids going to a better school district because you moved into a better area. You see, your life is in your hands. It's at your fingertips. And based on what you put in here, and then what you put out in energy, it can make you absolutely wealthy. And so I'm going to make it as simple as I possibly can, because I'm going to be your partner if you need me. If you don't need me, that's fine. I'll teach you what you need to know. But if you need me as a partner, I will be your partner. And with my knowledge, my expertise, and my money, you will come along for a wonderful ride, and then you'll make money too. I'll go into that a little bit later. Anybody interested, by the way, in being my partner? Anybody? Okay. Al, you didn't raise your hand. Oh, maybe that's why. Well, we've done some great deals together. We've done some wonderful things together. All right, so I'll tell you a little bit more about that a little later. But now, how many of you have an IRA? Who has an IRA? An IRA. Okay, self-directed IRA, right? Yeah. Yes? Yes. Oh, my goodness. And so how much can you contribute towards your retirement every year?
56.
Well, under certain circumstances, you can contribute up to $6,000 a year. So if you're starting off like me, I'm 65 years old now. I'll be 66 next month in May. I just keep trying to forget, and that's why it took me so long to remember. But if you're starting off like me, how long will it take for you to build your retirement? Now, we already learned from Dr. Lowry that it's going to take more than $1 million. We already know that. So if it was only $1 million, say I'm 65, $6,000 a year, divided into $1 million. I got a better solution for you. You guys ready for a better solution?
Yes.
Here's what we can do. We will operate from our self-directed IRA. We will buy tax deeds and tax lien certificates in our IRA. Guess what happens? Now we know we can contribute up to $6,000. But we're going to do better than that because the IRA is going to buy the tax deed or the tax lien certificate. And when the person doesn't pay, the IRA will foreclose. Not you, the individual, the IRA forecloses. And remember, when you foreclose on a tax deed, all the junior liens get wiped out. You just saw John. You just saw John making over $235,000 because the liens got wiped out. What if you've done that in your IRA? And what if you do one of those every single year in your IRA? How about two? Two a year. And you set yourself up for your retirement early. And now you operate from your IRA, your self-directed IRA. The junior liens get wiped out, your IRA grows at lightning speed. Can you guys see that? Does that make sense? It makes a whole lot more sense than waiting until you're 65 and then start contributing $6,000 a year. Or even waiting until you're 30. Do it this way and you will be ready for retirement at 35. Okay? And so some of the things that we can do, there's a lot that we can do with these tax deeds and tax lien certificates. It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for us to bless other people, and we make money at the same time. So we know that we can acquire property in our IRA. And so as we acquire that property, maybe they're rental properties, and so the rent comes into our IRA, thus building our retirement even faster. So we can do that. We can use it as a down payment on some of the properties that Al talked about. Some of the properties that I talked about before. These vacant, overgrown properties. Somebody wants $10,000 as a down payment. I tell you what, I don't have the cash, but I do have $20,000 in free and clear land. I'll give you that. Will he take it? Of course he will. It's twice what he's asking. It's twice as much as what he's asking for. It's free and clear. He already knows that he can sell it for $18,000. It's $20,000 worth of land. Sells it for $18,000. He gets $8,000 more than he was asking. So he's happy. You see that? Are you happy? Because what you pay for that? $1,000 a piece? $500 a piece? I bought three deeds for less than $400. What can you do? With my teaching, you can do a lot the same, and even better than that. So you can use it for tuition for school. Little Johnny wants to go to a certain college, but we don't have the money. Do you know you can have a meeting with the administrators, and you can let them know that tuition is $20,000? I have $30,000 of free and clear land, and I can give you that. Will they take it? The answer is yes, they will. They already have it set up. It's called a unit trust, university trust, and all those valuable pieces of whatever it is goes into the unit trust. Real estate goes up. They'll take jewelry, they'll take furs, they'll take all kinds of valuable things. And so $20,000 tuition, how much did you pay for $30,000 in free and clear land? Maybe $1,500, maybe $2,000. I'd say that you're looking pretty doggone good. You can use it as a tool to increase your credit, increase your financial statement. That's pretty doggone good too. But if I was coaching you, if Al was coaching you, if Dan was coaching you, we would caution you, don't put all that stuff on your financial statement the first year, because you're going to get turned down for a loan. They'll see this. And when they see that, they think you're going to come crashing down. So every year, you just put a couple on every single year. Couple more, couple more, couple more. Any bank in the world is going to love you and throw money at you. And so this becomes a great, great tool for us investing in real estate. We can use it for trade, for a boat or a car or whatever it is that we want. We can trade for it. Somebody wants $20,000 for that motorcycle. It's a great motorcycle. Give them $30,000 of free and clear land. That $30,000 of free and clear land cost me $1,500. I just bought a $20,000 motorcycle for $1,500. Any takers? Yeah. I'll sell it to you for $19,000. All right. Or you can use it as an option tool. We can use these tax deeds and tax lien certificates. We can use these properties as all kinds of tools to advance our investing in real estate. And that's why I'm here, to show you the correlation between that and hopefully create a couple of deals. We can give as gifts, and we can take the write-off. So we give away $30,000 worth of free and clear land to our kids or our relatives or whoever we give it to, and then we take the write-off. We only paid $1,000, $1,500 for it. We can subdivide it. Many times, we'll subdivide something, subdivide it out, sell a couple of parcels out and keep the rest and maybe develop one. There's all kinds of things that we can do. We can sell it to foreigners. There are people all over the world looking for a way to get into America. And so if you were to run an ad in a foreign newspaper, America for sale, and you would get some calls. Free and clear land worth $30,000, sell it to you for $50,000. No, I'm just kidding. Not that. But what you will find a lot of times, free and clear land for sale, $30,000, and the people over there have so much money and they're so happy to be able to get over here. If they buy that, they can get a visa to come and visit their property. Many times you might find that they'll give you $40,000 just because they're so happy and they're so rich. And you give them an opportunity to come to America. You can trade it for equity to a motivated seller. Motivated seller who has an abandoned property and he wants a certain amount of money for it. Well, you know, I don't have $10,000, but I've got $20,000 of free and clear land. Or some of the properties that you will acquire under these tax deeds and tax lien certificates will be improved. There'll be a house sitting on it. There'll be an apartment sitting on it. There'll be commercial sitting on it. All kinds of things you're going to find. And so we already talked about tuition for school. Why is this coming up again? Get out of here. All right, I want to show you something. How many of you heard of San Bernardino County? I want to show you an auction that took place in San Bernardino County. When you go into the auction, the first thing they do, they hand you this sheet, and it says this. The purpose, well, this is one of the paragraphs. I want you to see this. The purpose of a tax sale is to collect the unpaid taxes and to convey the tax defaulted property to a responsible owner. These properties are subject to the tax collector's power to sell because of defaulted taxes. So now we know that the tax collector has the authority, has the right, and the law is behind him to take property from you who don't pay your taxes and sell it to me who does pay your taxes for you. Or sell it to you who does pay the taxes for that defaulted taxpayer. And so this auction that took place in San Bernardino, you're going to be amazed at what didn't sell. I'm going to show you what didn't sell. I'm going to show you the opportunities that you missed. And hopefully you won't miss any more like this. Now when you go to an auction, you can go there or you can bid online. And once again, I will teach you how to do it online. Over the counter, online. So if you're going to bid online, you usually have to put up a little deposit and use your credit cards, around $500. If you're the successful bidder, that $500 is moved toward that purchase price of what you bought. But if you didn't successfully bid, then the $500 gets credited back to you. So you don't lose any money. There's no way you can lose. So some of these properties, the ones that I'm going to show you right now, did not sell. You're looking at a funky little store. Ugly little thing, isn't it? Horrible little thing. And I don't know if you're interested in a store. I'm not. But I am interested in real estate that makes money. What do you guys think? And you know what? The lot itself is worth money. San Bernardino County, anything in California is going to be worth an awful lot of money. Don't you agree? Do you think you would have bought this if you know that you could have got it for $2,150? Would you have bought that?
Yeah.
Would you tear down that little funky thing and sell the lot? Or rebuild on the lot? There's a million things you can do when you get a property like that for only $2,150. There's a million things you can do. You'd remodel it? Yeah. Well, if you're in the stores, maybe hire somebody to run it for you. But I think you're going to want to go off into real estate when I start showing you this real estate. But now, some of you really do want a store. But you don't want that store, and I don't blame you. Maybe you want a little nicer store. Here's a nicer store for you. This one probably had racks and shelving inside, and may have even had merchandise and inventory. Probably comes with a lot of community goodwill. People know you're there and they come to that store. The parking lot itself looks like a pretty big parking lot, so it can accommodate a lot of cars. And so this one, well, the other one was a little funky store, $2,150. This is much nicer, so you're going to pay more. Less than $19,000. Where can you buy anything for less than $19 in California? $19,000 in California. I don't know where you can. But you could have here. But this one's gone now. So there's others. And I teach you how to find the others. And so you might be interested in real estate. A house. An apartment building. Let's take a look at a house. Here's one that did not sell. This is San Bernardino County. This looks like maybe a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, or 2-bath. San Bernardino County, I would say 3 bedrooms, 2 baths would probably be worth around $225,000 or something like that. Anybody in agreement? What do you think?
Less.
You think less?
San Bernardino.
How much do you think?
130.
130?
At the moment.
I think you're a little low, but let's keep it at 130. Would you buy that for $3,750? And then if you sold it for $119, would you make yourself a nice little profit? How many of you would take that deal? Put your hands on, let me see. How many of you wish that you had been there? Just a couple of them.
Or online.
Well, I tell you what, how many of you wish that you could get this kind of a property online? Over the counter? Okay, well, you need to talk to me. I need to teach you, okay? So, that's an opportunity right there, don't you agree? That's a great opportunity. But maybe there's a better opportunity. Maybe just a little bit short of cash. You didn't have that much cash. So maybe you could have bought this one here, and it comes with a boat. Look at that. You get a boat with it, and you also get a hole in the juniper tree. Now, this one looks like another 3-bedroom, but it's $3,300. That's what it went back for. Nobody bid on it. Do you care why nobody bid on it? No. I don't care why. Because if the foundation is screwed up, can I still buy that for $3,300, fix the foundation and everything else, still make myself at least $50,000? At least that. That's the opportunity that we have here in America. For those of us that are astute enough to understand the power in tax deeds and tax lien certificates, this is the kind of opportunity that we have. So the ones that sold, the buyers were pretty happy with. These did not sell. We would be happy with these. So you know that the opportunity has got to be better than this. But let's see, what could be better than this? Maybe this house? Could that be better? Well, it's got some grass. Looks like another 3-bedroom. It's got an attached garage. Looks like a 2-car garage. Any takers here for $2,700? Yeah, $2,700. Don't you wish you were there? I'd say, give me 3, 4 of them, whatever. All right, I want to share this with you, though. It's not just residential properties. It's not just vacant land. Here in Connecticut, Al's going to be going to Connecticut soon. We were there together teaching a class, and that's when I found this. The Hartford Office Supply Company building. This building was vacant, and it sat there on that corner for years. Nobody wanted anything to do with that property. Now, you know that some of the big guys are doing these tax deeds and tax lien certificates. Your banks are doing them, making a lot of money, giving you a pittance. GE, General Motors, all of them are doing this. But see, this one, they missed this one. So a guy just like you and I went and found this deal. Now, he needed some capital, so he put his money into it, and he went and got some friends, and they put their money into it as well. They wanted that building, and they got that building. We show you how they got it. This building was over 150,000 square feet. Big, big building. Big building. They bought this thing for unpaid taxes. The taxes were about $175,000. They found a way. You know, some people find excuses. Some people find a way. Those who are successful find a way. And you know what's interesting too, is in this wonderful world of ours, there's guidance. There's sort of like a GPS system in the sky. That when we make up our minds that we want something and we're committed to it, doorways open, pathways illuminate, the right people come into your life at the right time. You ever notice how that happens? Well, that happened here because they got serious about this, and then the money started coming in from sources that they didn't expect. And so what they planned to do, well, they foreclosed on the property. The buyer foreclosed because the seller had an opportunity to pay it all off. He didn't. And so they foreclosed. All the junior liens got wiped out. They planned to build 115 apartments here. Yeah, 115 apartments. If there were only 1-bedrooms, 115 apartments, let's say a 1-bedroom rents for $700 a month. That's nominal, times 115. If they only rented out 100, well, that's 15 vacant. So that's a pretty good monthly income. Remember, all the junior liens got wiped out because they foreclosed on the building. There's no mortgage to be paid. That's a pretty good income, don't you agree? Now, what if they didn't build the apartments? What if they didn't rent the apartments? What if they sold the apartments instead? Are we talking about a pretty good sum of money? And this was a property that no one else... You see, that's why I call this the best kept secret. Because people walk right past that and go, oh, my goodness. And they kept on going. They didn't know what to do with that building. But our student did. He knew what to do with it. And so he capitalized on it. So they're going to own this building free and clear. They own it free and clear now. They own this building completely free and clear. All the junior liens got wiped out. Is that pretty good? How many of you would like to be involved in something like that? Well, you know what? Maybe we can. As partners, maybe we can be involved in something like that. I'm always looking for the bigger deals. I can't have eyes all over the country, though. And so that's why I solicit partnerships. That's why I'm here today. All right. So tax liens and tax deed certificates, tax deeds and tax lien certificates, where we get a high rate of return, we get a high interest, or we get the property, one or the other. This is the only investment that I know of, is you put money out there and hope and pray that they don't pay you back. Because when they don't pay you back, you get to foreclose on the property. And when you foreclose, all the junior liens get wiped out. And so you can buy property this way, you can buy these properties for pennies, literally pennies on the dollar. That's what we're talking about. You get the property with absolutely no mortgage when you foreclose. There are no rehabs, there's no fix-ups, no building to do. The county tax collector does all the work. And they collect the defaulted taxes from the defaulted taxpayer, they mail it to you. So your check comes straight from the government, and then they guarantee it. And then if that person doesn't pay, they then give you the notification that you need so that you can proceed on and foreclose and take over that property free and clear. It's safe and it's secure and it's virtually no risk. The only risk, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, is you don't want to buy anything underwater. So before you buy, pull up your computer, go to Google and put the address in. And then take a look at the picture of it and see if that's something that you want to get involved in. If you only see water, then I say move on to the next one. Okay? Especially if we're partnering now, move on to the next one. So you might wonder, why doesn't anybody tell you about these kinds of investments? Well, you may have all of these guys. You may have a financial planner, a broker, tax professional, stockbroker, financial consultants. They're all real smart, aren't they? But will they ever tell you about tax deeds and tax lien certificates? They won't. You know why? They won't make money off of it. You're an astute individual. They will not make money off of it. There are no commissions allowed by law. They cannot charge you commission. So why would they tell you anything about that? Have you going off in the other direction, making money independent of them? You see, I have a reason to tell you, which you already know. Looking for partners. So I want to tell you about Joanne. Joanne came to a seminar. She's a wonderful lady. She got so excited, like some of you, I can see in your faces you get a little excited. Joanne was so excited, and she grabbed the course and she ran home with it. On her way home, she started listening to the CDs. On her way home. And that's what I suggest to everyone who gets involved in this course. You start listening to the CDs on your way home. And so it wasn't long before she attended a tax sale seminar, a tax sale event after the seminar. She purchased 54 tax certificates. She was paid 12% interest on 38 properties. 12%. How much you making in the banks? 0.1% at American Savings Bank. She received 7 properties that were worth over $230,000. This is a woman that just came to hear a little talk on tax sales, and she got excited. And there was no holding her back after that. You could not hold her back with a rope. There's no way, because she was totally committed. She saw it. And so she invested only less than $14,000, and she made herself over $200,000. Is that pretty good? Talk about a return on your investment. Pretty good ROI, isn't it? It's an excellent ROI. Do you think she's happy? Oh, she's so happy as she's going from tax sale to tax sale to tax sale. And so what we tell her is the same thing that we tell all of you. When you get the system down, and it's easy to get it down, you have me teaching you on a personal basis if I have to. And then you just do it over and over and over and over again. And I will caution you, do it quietly. Everybody doesn't need to know what you're doing. How long would it take you to save over $200,000? Can you save that much? I don't know that anybody in America, if you're not an investor and you're not wealthy, I don't know if you can save $200,000. Because see, the odds are stacked against you. Everything's stacked against you. Let me show you what I mean. By talking about the average American family is inundated with debt. Oh, they have a mortgage payment. And I did a little research and come up with some figures. The average figures. Mortgage payment is $1,700. Car payment $450. Student loans $275. Credit cards $290. Average numbers. Some are above, some are below. And so the average monthly debt is $2,715. You know what the average income is? The average income is $3,459. What does that leave for your wealth? You know what your discretionary income is? Less than $800, less than $750. How are you going to get rich? on that. I don't think you can. We haven't even talked about food. We haven't even talked about some of the other things that are going to take that money and then leave you in a minus situation at the end of the month. So we have to invest. We cannot save our way to wealth. These people need help. The average American family needs help. That's why the average person, when they come and hear me talk about tax deeds and tax lien certificates, they get excited because they see a way out of their financial situation. They see a way out. And that's what I'm offering you. There's a way out of whatever your financial dilemma is, and then a way into wealth. Because that's what we're talking about.